speed it up. So just be aware of everything around the core and the lower body. So your pelvis, how it behaves, and the core and this lower belly and the stomach muscles. So all of it around, and your lower back, especially the lower back, because we'll be going into the movements like wavy like motions with the pelvis and the sort of all around from the core down. So sit on your blankets, and we'll just start off by closing your eyes just to get adjusted, to get to be in the class, to sort of move from one atmosphere into a completely different atmosphere, and to move from the IT and from all the thankfully we do have Zoom, which is great to do it, but at the same time sometimes it just gets completely, the mind is so, how's this working, what is happening? So we'll just completely forget all about that and just sit. Take a deep inhale, just inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Big inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. So you can hear me, I can't hear you unfortunately, but do make a sound. And as you do that, just notice how your body behaves in that moment. And if you're still being loud with your exhales, just quieten them down. Just notice how your body, how you're sitting. So internally, scan your body from your feet, going into your thighs, into your pelvis, noticing the sitting bones underneath you touching the floor. As you're inhaling, bringing that breath and inhale up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, just releasing down, releasing the shoulders, almost as if you dropping your sitting bones even further down towards the floor. And if your hands are on your thighs, just notice the contact between your thighs and between the palms of your hands. Slowly open your eyes and bring your attention to your hands and your arms, and just as you inhale, take a big breath in, bringing the arms up towards the ceiling, extending through the fingertips. Good. And then turning the palms away. And as you turn the palms away from each other, the whole of your arms, so they're rotating, and the palms are going down towards the floor. Turn the palms up as you inhale. Extending up as you exhale, palms away. And you can carry on with your breath through with your exhale through your mouth. Inhaling through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Good. Now inhale, come back to sort of midpoint. So with the shoulders, so arms shoulder width, and shoulder height. Palms pointing up. Now, as you exhale, turn the palms facing forward, and as you exhale, grab the right elbow under the left. Now, if this is too much, and then grab hold of your hands. If this is too much for the left shoulder, just do, or the right shoulder, just grab hold of the opposite shoulder. So you'll still get some kind of extension or a stretch in your shoulders. It might not be as strong as this, but it will be enough. So listen to your body and think what is better and what is easier for you to do. If this is too much, then release. And exhale and open the arms completely. And as you inhale here, and then exhale, opposite elbow underneath. So the left underneath the right. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale. Just notice as you exhale, notice where the stretch is coming. One more time. And as you inhale, release and open the arms, releasing down. Just bring the shoulders up to your ears and then exhale and drop down. And bring them up to your ears. And exhale, down. And one more time, in and down. Good. Now, so moving off the shoulders, we're going down into the hips and into the areas right here. So, what I'd like you to do, so I'll show you what we're going to do, but I'd like you to, and then tell you sort of kind of what the feeling is going to be like. So, because you might not find this position here kind of easy to do, a cross-legged position. So you might want to pull your feet a little bit sort of closer to towards underneath the knees, or your feet a little bit away. So because what we're going to do, we're going to close the knees and open. Close the knees and open. And at the same time, we will be moving the arms. So as you inhale, arms up. As you exhale, knees out, arms down. So first, before we start practicing, see what position is easier for you to do with the cross-legged position without moving away from your blanket. So without going backwards, you want to stay upwards as you are. So you inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So first practice and see if your body's moving. If your body's moving, then perhaps you need the feet a little bit away or a little bit closer. And then as you inhale, bring the arms up. You're stretching up towards the ceiling through the fingertips. And you're pushing your sitting bones down as you exhale down. Arms down. Inhale, exhale. And we'll do that 10 times, as fast as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I almost made him a little bit of a building thing. Lovely. Good. And then release the legs a little bit. Okay. And we do it again. This time you use your breath. So inhale. And release down. And just notice how you're feeling. Good. Lovely. Now, if you need to stretch your legs for a moment or two before we carry on, please do so. And especially if you need to undo, so there's quite a lot of tension, especially it could be quite a lot of tension in the inner thighs here, so you might want to just press there. So just use the fingers to almost like massage the inner thighs and the pelvis. Just pressing down into the thighs, releasing a little bit, and then coming back into the sitting position, into cross-legged sitting position. Lovely. Good. Now, starting off, we're going to go into just move our spine a little bit. So we're just going to roll over to the right and then to the left. Inhaling, taking the left shoulder down, and then rolling the shoulders. So we're moving the shoulders, but we're also moving the spine. So just undulating the spine to the right, to the left, using your breath. Now going on to from the right shoulder into the left knee. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, and stay where you are. Now, from between combining these two, or similar way of combining these two, we're going to move rotate the shoulder, rotate the hips as well as the core. So the movement will look like what you were doing earlier with the shoulders, but you won't be moving the shoulders. You'll be just moving the core and going from right hip to the left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So it's kind of, you have to, you might be looking at me and thinking, I'm not doing it, I don't know what I'm doing, but you will be, you're moving, just rotating as if you're belly dancing. So staying with the shoulders, stay as they are, you're almost making the same actions with the right and left, but you're actually rotating and making sort of circular movements with this part of your body. And then staying, and then coming back, going on to the left. Good. And release. And take the right arms, the left arm up. Stretch the arm up. Exhale, walk the right arm away from you. Drop the right elbow down. Notice the stretch in the left side of your body. Keep your head as close to the left arm as possible. Inhale, come back to center, drop the arm down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, walk the left arm away from you, drop the elbow down, the left elbow down. Just stretch, 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 stretch. And come back to center. Walk the arms in front of you so that you're happy, that you're stretching the back, making sure that the sitting bones stay down. So you're coming almost into a forward fold, but your back may not be able to reach, and your head may not be able to reach down completely. So as soon as you feel that your sitting bones are coming off the floor, then come back a little bit. And just notice the stretch or the pressure, the tension in your inner thighs, the front thighs. And then slowly come back up. As you inhale, walk yourself up. Good. Come over onto all fours. Use your blanket to put underneath your knees. So make sure that your blanket is supporting your knees, so for almost like an extra level. So stretch your hands completely, your palms of the hands completely down onto the floor, and neutralize your spine. So keep your belly as close to your spine as possible. Now, before we go into the cat and cow, I'd like you to just have that sensation of your belly. So firstly, you're going to do the inhale and drop the belly down. Exhale. Sanila, if any of you are menstruating, then just reverse the breath. So you'll be doing inhale, breath in, exhale, release. And for those of you who are not menstruating, then you'll be breathing as in exhale, belly in, inhale, release. So one more time, if you're menstruating, inhale, breath, belly in, exhale, release. If you're not menstruating, exhale, belly in, inhale, release. So we'll do that. You use your own breath. I'm not going to call it. So you're just putting your belly into the spine, releasing. Belly in, release. Belly in, release. Making sure that you follow it with your breath. So it's like a pranayama practice, but in a different completely position. And this is just practicing your belly and practicing the core muscles, but also using your breath. I swear the planes have changed the route ever since the last 4 months. It's very loud. And release completely. Make a space between the knees and come down into child's pose. So dropping the tailbone down towards the floor and dropping the head down towards the floor. Stretch as much as possible. Notice the stretch in the tailbone. Notice the stretch in the lower back. Notice the stretch across the upper back. Now notice your breath. Now whilst you're in the child's pose, walk your left arm towards the right. So if you can stay with the head down, do stay with the head down. Otherwise, keep your head a little bit lifted. And then come back to center. And then walk your right arm or right hand to the left. And again, notice the stretch on the right side now of the body. And then slowly walk yourself to the center. And then again, come back into all fours. So you're coming into your cat and cow position. So now we're going to use the breath in exactly the same way as everyone else. So I'll be calling it, but we're going to go into the cat on the exhale and into cow on an inhale. So firstly, notice your breath. Just establish the normal breath. So you're inhaling and exhaling here. Now become aware of your tailbone. And as you exhale, bring your tailbone and your pubic bone forward towards the head. As you curve the back and drop the head down towards the pubic bone. As you inhale, take the tailbone up towards the ceiling, drop the belly down, open the shoulders and gaze forward. Exhale, tailbone first, goes in, curves the back, drop the head down, and the shoulder blades are widening. Inhale, tailbone goes first. Drop the belly down, the spine uncurves or curves upwards, and the head rises up a little bit, just gazing forward. Try to keep your chin pointing downward rather than going up because it'll go too much into your neck. Exhale, tailbone in, curve the back, drop the head. And inhale into cow, starting from the tailbone. And gazing forward. Come back into neutral spine. Tuck your toes under. And bring your belly as close to the spine as possible. So really squeeze your belly in. So almost as if it's going to make a hole in there. As you do, as you breathe out, as you exhale, push away from your hands and push your tailbone up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees bent. So only the tailbone's going up towards the ceiling. Look between your hands as you inhale and then bring the knees down towards the floor. You're coming into all fours. Exhale, repeat. Go up towards downward dog, but in a wavy motion and with the knees bent. Inhale, come down into all fours. And one more time, exhale, come up into downward dog, this time stretching the legs away from you, keeping the belly as close to the spine as possible. Good. Look between your hands, step your right leg in between your hands. Stretch the left leg away from you. Good. Open the chest to gaze forward. Now place your hands down onto the floor and then bring your leg back into plank and stay in plank. And we're going into belly pulsations from here. So really squeeze your belly in towards the spine. As you inhale, stretch your knees, stretch your legs, stretch your heels, stretch from the crown of the head towards your heels. Exhale, push your belly in towards the spine, look towards your belly. Inhale, release. Exhale, push. In. Inhale, release. Exhale, knees down towards the floor. If you need to make a break before we go on to the left side, go into a child's pose. If you don't need to make a break, then come up into downward dog. We'll make a break. Stretch your arms away from you as you are in child's pose. And slowly look between your hands and then come up onto all fours. As you exhale, tuck your toes under, bring your belly into the spine, slowly pushing up your tailbone up towards the, as you're unraveling, almost coming up towards downward dog, but your knees are still bent. And we're just going to go into the wavy motion. So first with the knees almost coming down towards the floor, or perhaps down completely to the floor. So you see and you judge what you can do. Either keeping the knees a little bit off the floor and then coming up in towards the downward dog. Stretching now into plank, then down knees a little bit. And then you're waving the spine, you're waving the whole body into this movement. If this is too strong on your shoulders, then please adjust, break up, bring the knees down and do it slowly, one bit by bit. And then eventually push up into downward dog. Stretching your legs, bringing your belly into your spine, pushing away from your shoulders. Look between your hands and then step your left leg in towards between your hands, coming into a lunge. So high lunge, or if you need the knee down, please go into with the knee down. Open your chest, gaze forward. Bring your inner thighs closer together. So really push as if you're aiming to get the thighs to touch. Slowly push the leg back into plank, coming into plank. Inhale here. Exhale, knees down, chest down between your hands. Inhale, coming up into cobra. Exhale, tucking down into the child's pose, dropping your head down. Releasing the back, releasing the lower back, releasing the arms. And slowly you can stay here, or you can come into the seated position, just sitting on your heels. So I'm just going to, while if you're resting, I'm just going to tell you why, the reason why we're doing the belly and the reasons for being on the menstrual cycle or not menstrual cycle, and the breath. Because whilst you're in a breath in the menstrual cycle, then as you breathe out, this really bothers me, sorry, this chain all over me. about from this headset. So if you, as you, with the menstrual cycle, as you're breathing out, you really want to, it's a kind of downward energy. So you want the blood to flow down completely. Sound like, can you hear me? Yeah, okay, all right. So you want the flow to happen naturally. So you don't want to inhale and kind of really so you want to interrupt that at all. So especially as you're working with the lower belly muscles, you're working with the pelvic floor muscles as well. As you're breathing out and you squeezing in, you really want to that to happen as you as you're breathing in and you squeezing in, and then you're releasing completely as a ha movement, just releasing everything, and you want the blood to flow out. Also, if this practice that we just did was too much and too much for your shoulders and for your wrists, please do it gently and do it really kind of slowly so that you can you do it to the moment that you feel that this is way too much, I can't really do it anymore, it's actually hurting now. So if there's a pain, don't let it be the pain, let it be a muscular pain that is kind of like over that is working it, but don't let it be the pain of that you're damaging the muscles further. So before we go into the snake circles and a little bit of bridge pose and kind of moving again with the pelvis and activating this whole part, if we haven't done so already, we're going to do one set of sun salutations with your own breath if you wish to, and with your own adjustments, how you want to do it, high lunge or low lunge. So with the knees down. So come into the standing pose first. Slowly roll up your spine, keeping your chin down. So when as you are in standing pose, be aware of the position that you're standing in. So rather than, we're not going to do it with the feet together, we're going to do this sun salutation with the feet slightly apart. So hip distance apart, making sure that all corners of the feet, and we did this I think last week, all corners of the feet are completely stuck down towards the floor, as if you slowly gliding this carpet or this your mat away and pushing it to the side. As soon as you start thinking that way, you're activating the whole of your legs. Make sure that your knees, you might not be able to see it in these trousers, but you make sure your knees are not locked. So there's a tiny bend in them. Good. And so we're going to do it, we're going to move from that motion, so from that moment. So really pushing into the feet, hip distance apart, knees slightly bent, pushing away, feet pushing away from each other. As you do that, as you inhale, go bend your knees a little bit more, exaggerate your bottom sticking out, and now move your bottom slowly forwards as you stretch your legs, but not completely, still knees tiny bit bent. So inhale, move your pelvis. Exhale, pelvis in, coming up. Inhale down, exhale up. So start moving in these gentle circles gentle movements of the pelvis, just to activate more the Swadistana, or the second chakra, but also activating the root chakra, so that the pelvic floor. Trying not to stretch the legs completely, so no locking the knees. And then eventually come up into standing, this time legs straight. Inhale here and exhale. As you inhale next time, take your arms up towards the ceiling, pushing through the fingertips. As you exhale, bend your knees and come down into a forward fold. As you inhale, hands onto your shins, straight back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back with the right leg, slowly moving the right leg back into lunge. Holding the breath, coming into plank. Exhale, knees down, chest down. Elbows into your body. Inhale, gliding up into cobra. Opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Tuck the toes under, exhale, downward dog. Belly into the spine. Look between your hands, inhale, stepping in, right leg between your hands. Push the heel away from you. Exhale, push yourself into almost balancing position and then step your left leg back towards the right. Drop your head down. Slowly as you inhale, chin into your chest, arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to the heart center. As you're coming into the standing position, just notice how your feet are positioned. Do you still get that feeling when you moving the carpet or moving the stretching your mat away from your feet? Pull your tailbone in, lengthening down towards the floor. Pull your belly into the spine. Open the chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back with the left leg. So slowly, as if you're balancing, first you're coming almost onto the warrior three and then pressing, putting the foot down. Lengthening through the heel, opening the chest. Coming into plank, holding the plank. Exhale, knees down, chest down, elbows in. Inhale, coming up into cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Look between your hands. Inhale, stepping in with the left leg. Stretch the right heel away from you. Exhale, push yourself into almost warrior three with a bent foot, bent leg, coming down into forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, notice your tailbone. Notice your feet, whether you're pushing into the floor and stretching that mat away from your feet. Lovely. Now turn sideways with the right leg back. So coming into, so you come whichever way you want to come so that you can see the camera. But so long as your legs are stretched apart, toes pointing out. Now, as you may gather that we're going to go into the squat. So we're going to go down, squat, using your hands to push the thighs away from you and dropping the tailbone down as far as you can. Inhaling here. Exhale, squeeze the inner thighs in towards each other. As you inhale, come up into standing. Knees tiny bit bent. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale. Arms up. And release down with the hands down. Toes towards each other. Just dropping the head down completely. Wherever you can reach, just let your neck, release your neck, release your head. Then slowly walk your hands a little bit forward, and stretching your hands, stretching your back. And then look between your hands. And then press your hands down onto the floor, bend the knees, and come down into all fours and into child's pose. Dropping the head down, releasing completely down onto the floor. And just noticing, scanning your body, noticing how you feel. Where do you feel the stress? Where do you feel the tension in any part of the body, the muscles? And then slowly make your way down to, with the back completely down onto the floor. So if you want to look before you go into the floor, I'll just show you quickly what we're going to do. So it's going to be a bridge pose, but there'll be variations. There'll be quite a few variations. So with the hands down onto the floor, the shoulders relaxed completely. And as you inhale, rather than pushing your hands into the floor, as you exhale, rather than pushing your hands into the floor, you'll be pushing into the heels. And just noticing what's happening as you exhale, what's happening with the pelvis. So as you inhale, notice the pelvis, and then releasing the heels. Notice the pelvis perhaps going into a different direction, and maybe you'll notice this is an exaggerated movement, so that maybe you'll notice that there's a curve. The curve in your lower back is increasing. As you exhale and you push into the heels without lifting your pelvis, you'll notice the lower back flattening and going down towards the floor. Inhale, and again, exaggerated movement, so hopefully you can see. And exhale. So all is from, everything that I'm doing is with my pelvis, with the sitting bones completely down onto the floor. So it's not coming up and it's not coming, even though there is a tendency to do it, it's not, I'm not doing it. So start by doing that. So as you exhale, push into your heels, notice the lower back flattening. And as you inhale, notice the curve in your lower back increasing. And the next time as you do that, so one more time you do it, and then the next time as you exhale, push into the heels and lift your sitting bones off the floor. Now you can use your hands and leave them down onto the floor. You can turn the palms up. You can put your hands onto your belly. It's really down to you what you do with your hands. So long as you don't use your hands to actually support yourself and to keep pushing up. So the hands are there as really no support at all, just relaxing. Perhaps with the hands on the belly, you'll be able to notice the movements in your belly. So now as you inhale, again, release slowly down. Now, Deanna, so you'll have to notice, you'll have to do this very slowly. And so if you want to do it, those of you who with no problems with the belly, so not problems, but there's no opening, there's nothing, there's no weak pelvis, there's no weak belly, there's no weak lower back either. So you might want to be able to do with the fast movements. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And release down completely onto the back, completely onto the floor. Now bring your feet together into Baddha Konasana position, so the butterfly pose, and then bring your hands onto your pelvis or onto your hips or onto your lower belly. And then slowly, as you inhale, bring the knees together. Exhale, release. Inhale together, exhale, release. Inhale together, exhale, release. And do it faster, as fast as you can. So there's a tendency here to put the feet completely down onto the, sorry, not feet, the knees completely down onto the floor, and the feet to separate. So rather than doing that, try not to separate your feet. So your feet are together, the knees don't have to touch the floor, they can be halfway down and then going up. And then release completely down. Now, whilst you're in Baddha Konasana position, slowly lift, do the movement what we did earlier. So as you're exhaling, you're lifting your pubic bone upwards and almost want to bring it up into bridge pose, flattening the back, but your sitting bones stay down onto the floor. And inhale, release. Exhale, and bring the pubic bone forward. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, release. And 2 more times. Lovely. At this time, lift, bring the feet a little bit, the inner parts of the feet touching, the knees bent, and you're going to lift the sitting bones a tiny bit off the floor. And whilst you're here, you're going to open the knees and close the knees, open the knees and close the knees, open, close, open, close, open, close. And do that without putting your sitting bones down onto the floor. And do it until you feel the trembling action. Now, some people, so the trembling in your thighs, in your pelvis, some people will get the trembling action straight away. Some will take 3 minutes. So we don't have 3 minutes, but we can practice this at home if you want to. And release down completely. Bring your knees into your chest. Bring your right leg over the left thigh or left knee, wherever it reaches. Grab hold underneath the left thigh. Stretch the left leg up or keep it bent. So whichever way you want to do it. And just notice the opening on the right side and the hip, the stretch. And breathe here. And then swap. So stretch the right leg, bend the left, bring it over the right thigh or right knee, flex the feet. Both feet are flexed. And pull your right leg a little bit closer towards the chest, either stretching it or keeping it bent. Lovely. So if you're unable to do the pigeon pose the other way, even though we are practicing different, this is actually a pigeon pose for anyone who's got lower back problems or who finds this much easier to do than the classic king pigeon or pose, yoga pose. And then just release the legs down, feet still keeping bent. Now make a space between the feet so that it's wider than your mat. So the feet are outside the mat. Then take the arms wide or into Egyptian position, depending on how much space you've got. And then take your knees to the right. Drop the knees to the right. You can stay here, or you can, to intensify position, so to intensify the stretch, you can take the right over the left thigh or over the left knee and push down towards the floor. Making sure that the shoulders, both shoulders, are staying down onto the floor. Then release the foot if it was up on top, and then bring the knees back central. And then drop the knees to the left, taking the left leg over the right thigh, the left foot. So whether you reach the floor with your knees or not, doesn't really matter. Just want to feel the stretch. Lovely. And then slowly bring the foot back down. Then if you have a bolster, place the bolster under your knees and come down into Shavasana position. Making sure that you are, and I'm so sorry, we haven't managed to get into the side plank. I've remembered halfway through, but I've completely decided to do something else. So I'll have to really write it down completely for me to remind myself that we'll have to do that. So coming down into Shavasana pose, so releasing your legs either over bolster or over the pillows, or bringing the feet up towards the wall. So resting the feet up on the wall and resting the back flat completely down onto the ground. Closing your eyes, keeping your hands pointing, the palms of the hands pointing up towards the ceiling. Chin a little bit into your chest. And just focus on your breath. Just observing the body, how it feels, how you feel at this moment. And the next time you breathe in and you inhale, try and exaggerate that inhale. So inhale almost that you're opening your ribs. You're noticing your ribs rising up, up, up towards the ceiling, and almost bringing your inhale up towards your armpits. Noticing the pause after the inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lowering down the ribs. And noticing the pause after the exhale. And doing that 2 more times. So making a huge inhale. And a huge exhale. Making them equal length. And then coming back to normal breath. And one more time, exaggerate the inhale, the length of the inhale and the exhale. Noticing your ribs opening, rising up, and then falling down. And one more time, the same breath before you come back to your normal breath. Start bringing your awareness to the sounds. The sounds outside the room. The sounds inside the room. And the sound of your breath. And again, bringing your awareness to the sounds. The sound outside the room. The sounds inside the room. The sounds of the bell. And your breath. And staying with your breath. Being completely aware now of your physical body. Making small movements in your toes, your fingers, in your wrists and in your ankles. Rolling your head from one side to another. Just bringing some small movements. And taking a big inhale, stretching your arms over your head and your legs in the opposite direction. Bringing your knees into your chest. And rocking from one side to another. Then turning over to the right or to the left side whenever you're ready, and if you're ready. If you're not ready, stay where you are. Just in a seated position again, if you're ready. If you're not, just stay lying down and I'll salute you. Inhaling, taking my arms over, exhaling, hands into prayer mudra, into Anjali mudra, palms touching. And just bring yourself to your right to feel. Your right to be and your right to feel. And have a lovely, lovely evening. Thank you so much for coming to the practice. I hope to see you soon. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Take care.
Stay where you are. Don't worry about it. I'll just do it. End it.